Most men think attraction is built by saying more, but the truth is, it's built by saying the right things at the right moment. One well-placed compliment can create a deeper emotional impact than 100 empty words. Most men default to complimenting a woman's appearance because it's easy and immediate. You look beautiful, you're gorgeous, or a nice outfit are common, and while they may be appreciated in the moment, they rarely create a lasting emotional impact. Why? Because she has heard them before, many times. These compliments sit on the surface. They acknowledge what's visible, but they don't touch who she really is. When you shift your focus to her identity, everything changes. Instead of noticing only how she looks, you begin to notice how she thinks, how she acts, and how she moves through the world. You start complimenting her emotional intelligence, her self-awareness, her resilience, her creativity, or the way she handles situations. These are the things that define her, not just decorate her. For example, telling her, "I like how you stay calm even when things get stressful," speaks directly to her character. Saying, "You have a very thoughtful way of seeing things," shows that you're paying attention on a deeper level. These kinds of compliments feel personal because they reflect effort. You took the time to observe, to understand, and to appreciate something beyond the obvious. Identity-based compliments also create a stronger emotional connection because they make her feel seen, not just looked at. There's a big difference between being admired and being understood. When a woman feels understood, she naturally becomes more open, more comfortable, and more drawn to you. In the end, attraction isn't built on surface-level praise. It grows when your words connect with who she believes she is, or even who she aspires to be. And when your compliments align with her identity, they don't just sound good. They stay with her. A compliment isn't powerful just because of what you say. It's powerful because of when and how you say it. The same words can feel deeply meaningful in one moment and completely forgettable in another. That's why timing and delivery often matter more than the compliment itself. If you give a compliment too early, before any real connection is built, it can come off as routine or even insincere. It feels like something you say to everyone. But when you wait for the right moment, when there's a natural pause in the conversation, when she's just expressed something personal, or when she's being authentically herself, that's when your words land differently. They feel earned, not forced. Delivery is just as important. A rushed or overly eager tone can weaken even the best compliment. If it sounds like you're trying too hard to impress, the impact disappears. On the other hand, when your voice is calm, steady, and natural, it signals confidence. It shows you're not seeking approval. You're simply expressing what you genuinely noticed. Eye contact, pace, and subtlety all play a role. Holding eye contact for just a second longer, speaking a little slower, and not over-explaining your compliment creates a sense of sincerity. It allows the moment to breathe. You don't need to stack multiple compliments or exaggerate your words. In fact, less is often more. There's also power in restraint. Sometimes the best compliment is the one you almost say, but hold back until the right moment appears. That patience builds tension and curiosity, and when you finally say it, it feels intentional. In the end, it's not about flooding her with praise. It's about choosing the right moment, delivering it with confidence, and letting the simplicity of your words do the work. Authenticity is what separates a compliment that feels good from one that actually means something. Anyone can say flattering words, but not everyone can make those words feel real, and women can sense the difference almost instantly. When a compliment is forced, exaggerated, or said with the intention of getting something in return, it creates distance instead of attraction. But when it's genuine, when it comes from a real observation and a sincere place, it builds emotional trust. Authenticity starts with honesty. You're not trying to impress her with perfect lines or rehearsed phrases. You're simply expressing what you truly notice and appreciate about her. That honesty carries a different kind of energy, one that feels calm, grounded, and believable. It tells her that you're not performing, you're being real. There's also a level of confidence and authenticity. You're not worried about how your words will be received because you're not attached to a specific outcome. You're not fishing for validation or trying to win her over with every sentence. You're just speaking your truth. And that kind of emotional independence is naturally attractive. When a woman feels that your words are genuine, she begins to trust not just what you say, but who you are. She feels safe being herself around you because you're not creating a false image. You're showing up as you are. This creates a deeper connection, one that goes beyond surface level attraction. Authenticity also makes your compliments more memorable. A simple, honest observation delivered with sincerity will stay with her far longer than an elaborate, over the top statement. Because at the core of attraction isn't perfection, it's realness. In the end, people don't fall for perfectly crafted words. They fall for the feeling that those words are true. Subtlety carries a kind of quiet confidence that exaggeration can never match. When a compliment is over the top, too dramatic, too intense, or too frequent, it often loses its impact. It can feel performative, like you're trying to impress rather than simply expressing what you genuinely notice. But when you keep things understated, your words feel more controlled, more intentional, and ultimately more believable. Exaggeration tends to create pressure. If you tell a woman she's the most incredible person you've ever met too early, it can feel overwhelming or even insincere. It raises questions instead of attraction. But a subtle compliment like, there's something different about the way you see things, invites curiosity. It doesn't try to convince, it allows her to feel it and interpret it on her own. Subtlety also leaves space. Instead of explaining every detail or stacking multiple compliments together, you say just enough and then let the moment breathe. That pause, that silence after a well-placed compliment, is where the emotional impact actually builds. It gives her time to absorb what you said and attach her own meaning to it. And when she does that, the connection becomes more personal. There's also a level of mystery in being subtle. You're not revealing everything at once, and that creates intrigue. She starts to wonder what else you notice, what else you're thinking. That curiosity keeps her engaged and emotionally invested. Most importantly, subtlety reflects self-control. You're not rushing to impress or overcompensate with big words. You're comfortable keeping things simple, knowing that the right words, delivered with calm confidence, are enough. In the end, it's not about saying more. It's about saying less, but meaning it more deeply. Emotional intelligence isn't something you announce. It's something you demonstrate through what you notice and how you respond to it. Most people pay attention to what's obvious, but emotional intelligence shows up when you pick up on the details that others overlook. It's not just about hearing her words, it's about understanding the feeling behind them. When you notice subtle shifts in her tone, her mood, or her energy, it shows that you're present. For example, recognizing when she becomes more animated while talking about something she loves, or when her voice softens around something meaningful, allows you to respond in a way that feels aligned with her emotions. A simple observation like, "You seem really passionate when you talk about that," tells her that you're not just listening, you're understanding. It also means noticing the effort she puts into things that aren't always acknowledged. Maybe it's the way she handles a difficult situation with patience, or how she makes others feel included in a group. When you point out those qualities, it shows depth in your perception. You're not focused on surface-level traits. You're tuned into her character. Emotional intelligence is also reflected in timing. You know when to speak and when to stay quiet. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply acknowledge her feeling without trying to fix it or turn it into something else. That restraint shows maturity and awareness. When a woman feels that you truly notice her, not just what she looks like, but how she feels and who she is, she naturally becomes more open. She feels safe expressing herself because she knows she won't be misunderstood or overlooked. In the end, emotional intelligence isn't about saying the perfect thing. It's about noticing the right things and responding in a way that makes her feel genuinely seen. Attraction isn't about trying to impress a woman. It's about making her feel seen in a way she rarely experiences. Most compliments men give are predictable, surface level, and easily forgotten. But when you understand how to communicate appreciation with depth and intention, your words begin to carry weight. The kind of weight that lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. Because the right compliment doesn't just flatter her, it connects with her identity, her emotions, and the way she sees herself. Speech. You have a way of making people feel comfortable without even trying. It's not something you say, It's how you carry yourself. That calm energy, it stands out. I like how you think. You don't just respond, you actually process things. That's rare. Most people just wait for their turn to speak, but you understand. There's something very intentional about you. The way you choose your words, the way you react. It feels like you know exactly who you are. That's attractive. You don't seek attention, and somehow that's what makes people notice you more. It's like you're not trying to be impressive, and that's exactly why you are. I respect how you handle things. You don't overreact, you don't chase validation, you stay grounded. That kind of control says a lot about you. There's depth to you. Not everyone will see it, but the ones who do, they'll realize you're not someone ordinary. You're selective with your energy, and that's powerful. It shows you value yourself, and not many people carry that standard anymore. And honestly, the way you express yourself, it feels genuine. Not rehearsed, not forced, just real. And that's what makes it memorable. Because at the end of the day, it's not about impressing her with words. It's about making her feel understood in a way she doesn't experience often. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just remember what you said, she remembers how you made her feel.